So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Fix the GIS Backlogs Fast. I am Dave Young. I will be your presenter for the afternoon. Work for a company called Repro Products. We are based out of the Atlanta area and serve Autodesk environments across the world, software sales and support, and a bunch of other stuff. So what we're going to talk about today is how to get data into and out of GIS, particularly ArcGIS Pro, a little bit faster than you might be used to, and a few other options on that. So the agenda for this session is Esri and Autodesk, why the partnership? The old slow way of getting data in and out, a newer way, and then actually the latest way, attaching data directly from the cloud. And then we'll take a look at that in the software a little bit. So why? Why did Esri and Autodesk partner up? What advantages does that provide to everybody? Well, number one, it's about time. In the past, Autodesk, we've had AutoCAD Page Products, we've had Revit. It's been in its own one data silo. The GIS data has been in another data silo, and the two have never really talked to each other much. But they should, and they really haven't for the past, until recently, actually. About 2018, Autodesk and Esri partnered up and starting offering a little bit of integration between AutoCAD or Civil 3D and ArcGIS. So it's been in the development for quite a while. It's getting better, new improvements every year. They've also made some significant improvements in getting that data from CAD products into GIS. So the import process has greatly been sped up, and being able to share that data back out to AutoCAD or Autodesk products has been improved a lot too. So it's all about speeding things up, consolidating your data. So GIS inform BIM, and BIM fuels GIS. So what's the concept there? Well, you really can't start a design project, especially if it's on the infrastructure side, without knowing what's there. So you might want property lines, you might want utilities, things like that in your decision-making process on the design side. And then after it's done, you might want to take as-built and put that back into GIS so you have reliable data. So the two work together. And in the past, those had been separate data silos. Now we're getting closer to having sort of still separate data silos, but they are sharing the data. They're not as separated as they used to be anymore. It's kind of a data-centric idea here, and we got one repository where we can get the information into and out of very quickly. So the old slow way of getting things into and out of, okay, so you get your CAD drawings, and maybe you'll export some line work and out as a DXF and import it into your GIS system. And that's always been the process of, okay, the engineers basically take the data, throw it over the wall, and hope the GIS folks get it in there correctly. And that's always problems. As-built sort of becomes second priority on keeping that data up to date. So that's the old way. We don't want to do that anymore. The newer way is we go at this idea of a central data model, a shared data anyway. Okay, so that's kind of what we want to do, and we can do that pretty easily now. As of a couple of years ago, we can take even a Civil 3D drawing on the left-hand side of the screen here, and that data can be imported in very quickly into ArcGIS Pro with just a drag and drop almost. Okay. And we see the same data in both places, and we don't have to export out, try to get all that metadata that goes with it. As we're talking about storm drains, manhole sizes, pipe sizes, and inverse and things like that. That can all just be brought over now. Okay. Now that's not anything new as of the past couple of weeks or anything like that. It's been there for a while, but we'll take a look at some of that stuff. And then there's finally the newer way to do this. This is a pretty recent development. and that is to use Autodesk Docs. Okay. So Autodesk Docs it's a cloud-based service, and you may already own Autodesk Docs. If you have in your engineering side, if they have the AEC collection, they have a license for Autodesk Docs. It's cloud-based. So this means that your external contractors and developers and consultants can upload a project into Autodesk Docs, and you can access it directly from ArcGIS Pro. You don't have to wait for it to come through and someone export out the data. It's just almost simply just like a regular drawing file, a drag and drop. So that's the concept we're looking for here. So let's see what we can do on making this actually happen in the software. So here I have a AutoCAD based drawing. I'm using Civil 3D for this. This is a real simple, just building outlines, building footprints. Nothing but simple polygons, polylines in AutoCAD. I want to bring that data into ArcGIS Pro, and I'm running 3.5, I believe. And I know that those building outlines go somewhere down in about this area. This could be as simple as we find the drawing file. I've got one here called Building Outlines. I'm just going to drag it into ArcGIS Pro. And there they are. They show up that quickly. Okay. We don't have to go through the export process. And this may be the way you're doing it now. Nothing wrong with that. The good thing about this is still drawing based. It's not a static thing. So if we go back to our AutoCAD drawing and we add something to it, I think I can add, got a little building right here. I'm just going to draw a real quick little rectangle in AutoCAD. Something like that. And I'm going to save that file. Now this could be saved on my local hard drive, saved on my network, something like that. Okay. I am going to then go back to my ArcGIS Pro. Really all I have to do is kind of zoom in and it should appear there automatically. Okay, it's rereading that. I do have to do a little bit of scale change on that, but that building now shows up back quickly. Now that is just a simple AutoCAD polyline, so I don't get any metadata with it. I don't get addresses or occupancy numbers or anything like that. It's just real simple information. Okay. So nothing too fancy there. But the newest way is the partnership with Esri and Autodesk. They have gone ahead and made a connection to Autodesk Docs, which is that cloud-based service. I don't have to have the file local on my computer initially. Well, ultimately I do, but it makes a copy in the project folder for me. Okay. So to do that, I'm going to go to the Insert tab in ArcGIS Pro, and I'm going to add a connection for a new BIM cloud connection. Click on that. We're going to give it a name. Call it Autodesk Docs. Now the connection type can only be the BIM 360, Autodesk Construction Cloud, or ACC. We hit OK. I've got to log into my Autodesk account. And this is a two-factor authentication code. Give me a second to enter my authorization code. Even though I check that box, it still asks me every time for some reason. So we're going to allow it to make that connection. Now in my catalog, do I have to have the catalog view up to find this? I can go find that BIM cloud connection. There's my Autodesk Docs. And Autodesk Docs may have, here's my site, may have multiple projects in it. Okay. I got a demo site out here. We'll see what's in there. We got some project files, and I've got a folder called GIS data. Now it is pulling the data from the cloud, so it takes a few seconds to do it. But I can see here I've got storm network. That is the same drawing I've got over here in Civil 3D. Real simple. I've got a surface. I got some alignments. It's typical project, but I do want to bring this storm network into ArcGIS. So we'll jump back over to ArcGIS. I'm going to take my storm network, and I could download that to my project folder. I'm just going to go here, download and add to the current map. This is pulling that file from the cloud. Now it is bringing over the entire drawing. So Civil 3D drawings can be notoriously big. So I'm going to turn off a bunch of things in here I don't need to see. And I do want to see my pipes. And I do want to see my structures. And those are going to be over here. There they are, that quickly out of the cloud. Okay. It doesn't take much to do that. So the good thing about this is if something changes in here, let's add to this pipe network. So this could be, my initial design was this, and then after it was built, we go out and do an as-built survey, or the developer, the contractor does, and they update this information. So now we're past the planning phase and we're actually into real conditions now. So let's just drop in a, 18-inch pipe on that. Now I'm not too worried about the design on this side of it, but I want to save that back to my construction cloud. Okay, so just hit the save button because that's where I opened it from. Now, just to show you, this is definitely in the cloud. Let's go see if we can find that real quick. So there's my projects. There's my 2016 files. We'll see the exact same file structure show up here. There's my GIS data. And there somewhere, my storm network DWG is still synchronizing. So I'm trying to stall here for just a second while it uploads. Okay, so it's uploaded now. We're on version 9. Back over here in ArcGIS Pro, we can find that storm network, maybe check the properties, and it is version 9. Now the drawback is still pulling the old version. Okay, what's in the cloud is the current is version 9. What I've downloaded is version 8. I'm still looking for an update button. The documentation says there's an update button. I haven't found it, so I am going to just right click and say download to the project folder. We'll download it into the ArcGIS project folder now. And there's my new addition to that pipe network. Okay, so maybe your developer, your construction crew, contractors, they went out and did the as-built. They update the drawing. They saved it. What's in ArcGIS is now up to date because it came from the cloud. It's that simple. So being able to pull from that, it helps eliminate that lag between, okay, we go survey the data, and then it gets put into some file folder structure, and then a couple months later, someone says, hey, maybe we need to update GIS. They hand it off to the GIS folks, and 6 months later, it gets updated. Here, we just update the drawing in the cloud, and you update your ArcGIS. Now, we can go back the other way. Okay. So let's just do a new drawing real quick. So because of that cloud connection, back in ArcGIS, if I publish this as a web map, ArcGIS Online, I can use that back in the AutoCAD side. Okay. Now, I haven't updated my layer because it takes a few minutes to do that, which could be scripted to run every night, but we're just going to bring in what data I had as of yesterday. Right? I'm going to go over here to my Insert tab in AutoCAD. All Autodesk products have this, well, not all, but AutoCAD based, and I believe Revit even has the Autodesk connector for ArcGIS. So we can connect directly to that ArcGIS online. I want to kind of zoom in on the area I was working in a little bit. Right in here. I don't want to bring in everything. So I want to bring in what's in this area, right? So I'm going to just define an area. Grab that right there. It's going to see what's available in that area. I want to look at what I have under my content. I want to bring in my storm network. Now this is yesterday's, not the one I just made, because it does take a few minutes to publish that. And I'm going to bring this in as gravity pipes and structures for the pipe network. I can bring my building outlines in as AutoCAD polygons. And let's bring in, just for the heck of it, oh, not everything, let's bring in our transportation center lines, our road center lines on this. Okay. I'm going to add that to my design project. It's going to take a look what we have in those layers. So we've got storm network, I've got gravity pipes and structures. I've got polygons. Oop, I didn't mean feature lines. That's okay. No, that's not it. I want to cancel that. Grab that area. Storm, I want my buildings. And to this one, I want my transportation center line as polylines. Just double check those one more time. Polygons, pipes is good. I'm going to add that to my design project. Good thing I double checked that. Now I have saved a little bit of mapping, layer mapping on here. So I got a template set up to put things on specific layers. I'm gonna click on import. Now, because it does recognize that the pipe network can contain pipes and structures, we can actually map properties and create in Civil 3D pipes and structures, not just lines and points, right? So I do have a JSON file for mapping those out. The property name inside of ArcGIS came out of Civil 3D initially, so these match up. And we match things like inner diameter and slopes and stuff like that. So all I really have to do is just reload those two mapping files and hit OK. We'll give it a second. And there we go. Let's turn that map off. So this data, I started off with nothing. I've got AutoCAD lines and polylines in here for my roads. And I have let's grab this one right here, maybe. Okay. That is a Civil 3D structure. Now let's grab a pipe. Let's grab that short pipe. Pipe properties. And we can see that that pipe has a slope on it. Okay, it has inverts at the ends, things like that. Look back in ArcGIS, find that same pipe. And we'll see the exact same information. So this data came out of Civil 3D to start with for the pipe network and the building outlines. It came into ArcGIS Pro, and then we exported it back out into Civil 3D. We can make that round trip. Now, as far as I know, there's not a way to update a Civil 3D drawing from the GIS data. You just have to create a new one, but it is there. So that whole partnership between Autodesk and Esri is all about data sharing, speeding things up, not having to recreate the wheel every single time you want to add data to either side of that equation. So, all right, that's all I've got. This is not a how-to presentation, and we're not doing training here. I'm just letting you know that, hey, Autodesk Docs is new. inside of ArcGIS Pro. The integration between Autodesk products and ArcGIS is relatively new. The fact that it automatically understands those civil 3D objects, the pipe networks, the alignments for road center lines. It even understands Revit models. That is relatively new, and all it takes is just to drag that drawing or that Revit model into ArcGIS Pro, and it's there. All right. Let me check. This is a good time for Q&A. Not that I can answer everything about ArcGIS Pro. I'm a civil guy. I'm an AutoCAD guy. I am not an ArcGIS Pro guy. So there is a chat window somewhere. You should be able to find it in your interface. And there should also, I'm double checking, there should be, just in case anybody found it, a Q&A window. But doesn't look like anybody's, doesn't look like anybody's found that yet either. So that's okay. So if anybody's got any questions, throw them up in the chat window. If not, that's it. Quick, easy presentation. Letting you know, hey, there's new stuff available. That's it. Thank you all for being here.